What's up?
What's up?
Ain't nothing up there up with the cost, the prices, everything, man. Ass and gas, man. Something fake. Yes.
Yeah. Well. Today we broadcasting because we're talking about some joyous news for one individual. That's OJ. You know, he got released from, or I won't say released. He got granted parole out of Las Vegas.
Yeah. Well, the ironic thing about the OJ situation is, it's just typical how people in our community who are figures they're used as examples. OJ was used as an example, to let anybody out there that think that they can beat the system and get away with it, that, somehow, some way we're going to find a way to railroad you. And that's basically what they did. I know dudes that did all kind of crazy shit. Some horrific shit. And they get much time. It's 30-something years. And then for him to do 9 years on a 30-something year bid, that's almost like a life sentence.
Yeah.
In some cities, if you do 13 years, you get parole on a life sentence off a murder case. So we know that they was charging for murder and not what they alleged that he did. So it's just typical, and particularly in certain communities where we see these things run rapid. We see these injustice, prevail. But from my perspective, I think that it was overdue. I think they should have been let him out. I think he should have did about 2 or 3 years and got kicked out of the system. I think the judge that sentenced him overreacted. I think she was overreaching. I think she was stepping above and beyond her duty. And I think she was pretty much doing a revenge sentence as opposed to a judge sentence. So to me, him getting out is appropriate. I don't think that any other individual in the same circumstances would have got the same outcome. I think any other individual probably would have got maybe 10 to 15 years max. He's a first-time offender. I know guys that's first offenders that literally killed someone and got out on probation. So it just showed that, the unfairness in the criminal justice system. Even, I don't want to change subject. We look at Donald Trump and his sons and his son-in-law. These dudes that broke every law, even if it's just the ethical law.
Yeah.
They broke every law in the security playbook. And these guys are still running rampant. They're still running free. And if we do something minutely close to that, we would be sentenced probably to life, for treason or something of that nature. Because that's really what it is. When you betray your country, that's treason. And they say, oh, he didn't know, or he don't know better, or he never been in that type of situation. Why don't they say that to all the young African-American men who get caught for the first time with 7 ounces of crack, or get caught with an ounce of heroin, or get caught with a pistol for the first time? Why don't they give them the same benefit of the doubt that they given Donald Trump Jr. and his son-in-law? We know that the criminal justice system is anti-African American, anti-Latin American, anti-Native American, and in some cases anti-poor white American. So the poor white, the Native Americans and the Africans and the Latinos, African Americans, we suffer the most. And here it is, the rich, they could do all the injustice, they could break all the laws they want to break, and no one question them. It amazes me how Fox News sit up there and just protect these guys, but when something happened with a black man, or something happened with a Latino, or something happened with a poor man, they all over the case.
Yeah.
They crying for justice. They saying that this here should happen, and that there should happen, and why is this guy doing this, and this is so bad, and this is messing America up. But here it is, some people that betrayed America with a foreign country, with our enemy, and they talking about slapping them on the wrist, talking about there was no collusion, talking about there was no obstruction of justice, talking about these guys are amateur. Well, in every job that I ever seen people apply for, and they go and they get the job, and when they get the job, they prove to be incompetent, they get fired.
Yeah.
The presidency is the highest office on the planet, and you tell me that there's no criteria, there's no job approval rate. There's no qualifications. There's no competency levels, that have to be reached. I mean, this is an atrocity, man. This is disgusting, But yet, they want to, give OJ 9 years for trying to get his property back.
Yeah.
They didn't want to go and get the property, except the man couldn't get no justice, so he took justice in his own hand.
Yeah.
And they give the man 9 years for that. I could see if he was going to take the man's property, but he was taking his property.
Yeah.
Donald Trump Jr. had a meeting with the Russians to try to see if he could get some information on Hillary Clinton. From all accounts that I heard, that anytime you work with a foreign government on any level against an American official, especially a government official, which Hillary Clinton was one of the highest she was a former secretary government official. So I think that one should be incarcerated for that. But these people slap poor Americans in the face and say, look, this is what we do for the rich. But it's not over with though.
Yeah.
They may take, justice in their own hand. They might make an example out of Trump. Conservative news media, those folks are tripping me out, man. And those in conservative and the Democrat, and the liberal media, the liberal media who taking sides with Trump, it's appalling, man. I'm actually shocked by what I'm hearing, because man, I know when I went to the courtroom when I was a little kid, man, I did some old crazy stuff with some mail, and they had arrested me, and the federal government came down, and I was about 14 years old. They act like I did rob the bank, and they had me down in there, and my lawyer said, he don't know what he do. And then I remember clearly, I didn't even understand what it meant at the time, but the district attorney said, ignorance is no excuse to the law. And so I thought she was calling me a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always taught that ignorant is a nigga. So she said ignorance is no excuse to the law. So I was saying a nigga ain't no excuse to the law. Is that what they tried to say? And my lawyer was like, no, ignorance is no excuse to the law. Said my mama always say that they call us niggas ignorant. He said, no, ignorance is no excuse to the law. That's what my lawyer was telling me. So that means that not knowing the law, being ignorant to the law, is no excuse. You still subjected, even if you don't know the law, even if you don't understand the jurisprudence of the law, you are still subjected to that law. And that's why I find it appalling for them to be saying that the Trumps don't know no better. They new to this. They don't understand how the government works. Okay, well, if they don't understand how the government works, why in the hell is they in the government? Everybody else that don't understand their job will get fired, but this fool is still on the job. Everybody else that that commits a crime in America gets caught because ignorance is no excuse to the law. But they said that they're giving these fools an excuse. Come on, man. Where's the justice?
Yeah.
Come on, America. Let's be real with each other. You know what I'm saying? Don't treat one people one way and treat another people the other way and call it justice. Justice is supposed to be balance. It's supposed to scale for all. It's supposed to be an even balance. That's why it's made into a balance. Yeah. That's why when you look at justice, it's two balance things. Whatever you call them, equilibriums. Yeah. Level out to justice to equal. Equal justice, but it's no justice in that. It's just us, it's just them. That's what they said. Just us means just us, just them. That's what they're talking about. Yeah. So man, Donald Trump, man, and OJ, you know what I'm saying? They both, should be getting the same situation. If they're gonna do OJ bad, they should do Donald Trump the same way they did OJ. And they said that OJ should know better, so should Donald Trump. Just because he's the president don't mean that he should be getting a special treatment. Shoot, OJ won the Heisman Trophy. You know what I'm saying? He's a All-American. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think it get no better than that. So if you're gonna treat an All-American like that, you should treat an American that's trying to betray America. He's a betrayal of America. Donald Trump, you should treat him the same way. He should get, punished by the full extent of the law. If you're going to punish OJ by the full extent of the law.
And I noticed how, when they were, when the political pundits or the people that, were watching the hearing, they were like, well, OJ doesn't seem like he's being cooperative. He seems like he's got some type of arrogance to him, when in reality, he was, just restating things that probably the public didn't know. Like, I was found that was my property in California, and these certain people forgave me for the things that transpired, or the people that I hired, went up there with me with guns. They presented papers like they were legit security. So I thought I was in the clear, which apparently I wasn't, but they frowned on him for kind of revealing that.
Well, that's the point that I'm trying to make. If OJ thought that his security was legitimate, and OJ felt that was his property, if he didn't know that he was breaking the law, and they prosecute him to the full extent of the law, why aren't they doing the same thing with the Trumps?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see.
OJ is more of a figure than Donald Trump will ever be. Not saying that he's better than Donald Trump or whatever, but he's more of an all-American. He was, he won in sports. He was an all-time, in this field. He was great. He was a great football player, and was found not guilty. No matter how you feel about the OJ case, we're gonna go according to law. He was acquitted of those charges.
Yeah.
So if he's acquitted of those charges, then you got to treat him the same way if he was, found guilty of those charges.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna go according to the law. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So he was an all-American. But Donald Trump, his history have been nothing but, swindles and manipulations and cross-outs and all this and that and the other. People have nothing but bad things to say about him. The only thing you can say about OJ is that you think that he killed his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And, you don't know for sure, but somebody, the police, the district attorney said that he killed him, so you just going on that. But the jury found him not guilty. So the point that I'm saying, whether he's guilty of the murder or not, he was found acquitted, so therefore he's still OJ.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they treated him like he was a convict when he caught the case in Vegas.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is still Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So Donald Trump, in his private citizen life, had more blemish on his name than OJ. True. In terms of as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go according to the law, he wasn't guilty. He was found not guilty. So he's still OJ. He's still a Heisman Trophy winner. He's still, broke all these records. He's still an All-American football player.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump is still a real estate tycoon that crossed a lot of people, that talk bad about people. All these things are recorded, but he still have been treated as worse as OJ been treated. Mm. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And this was OJ property. The Russians is our number one enemy. Every individual that works for Trump, Flynn, Sessions, Kushner, his son, him, and a whole bunch of other motherfuckers that work with the Russians and had some kind of collusions with the Russians. But everybody's saying, it's nothing. And the Republicans, they want to be in power so bad that they're willing to sweep this whole thing under the rug just to keep their power. Because they got the presidency, they got the Senate, and they got the House, and they want to pass some of their legislation. But see, God is a merciful God, and God ain't going to let ugly come down. God ain't going to let your wicked machinations work when you're working against his people. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you think about it, you know what I'm saying? The Republicans haven't been able to pass nothing in the 6 months that they've been in there. Because it was never meant to be. Donald Trump should have never been president. I don't care what nobody say. If he had help from the Russians, he should have never been president. I don't care how they helped him, whether they helped him intentionally or unintentionally, he should have been president. They should have called a recall. They should have redone the election. And they should have, just really probably, they could have got 2 new people. But he shouldn't have been president. And he should be charged like they charged OJ. Mm-hmm. They charge OJ, didn't charge this fool, man. This fool is creating treason, man. He colluding with the Russians. He's obstructing justice. He fired everybody that got something to do with the Russian case. He fired, his attorney general. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his FBI director. He about to fire the special prosecutor. He just fired any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't want no nobody. Anytime somebody get close to bringing his ass down, you know what I'm saying? He obstruct justice.
Yeah.
And the Congress know that this man is flawed, but they keep, dealing with him anyway. They let him do what he want to do. And they think they're being smart, they think they're being cute, but they ain't doing nothing but bringing down the integrity of this country. They bringing down the entire system. Their system is for the problem from within. Watch what I tell you. If me and you live another 4 or 5 years, this system that we call a democracy, it ain't gonna be a democracy. It's gonna be a hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about to be. It's about to be a hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Because, it's just so much hypocrite and so much falsehood and so many lies that goes on nowadays, and they let people do what they want to do. There's no real moral individuals in government no more. There's no people who stand up for the little people. There's nobody there that have a moral principle. So therefore, any and everything just happening in the government and no one is saying anything. And everybody just, practicing partisanship. They just worried about, if they can get their agenda. They don't think about the American people no more. It's either Bloods or Crips with them, man. They either a Blood or they're a Crip. They're a GD or they're a Vice Lord. That's how they think. You know what I'm saying? They think like ops. They the ops over there. You know what I'm saying? They the opposition.
Yeah.
Over here. They the opposition over there. So they look at everything in terms of ops instead of co-ops. Instead of cooperating. Instead of, demonstrating, instead of working together, to elevating and motivating, and building, that's what we need to be practicing. But we don't see that, man, because, there's so much corruption in the system now. Donald Trump is the most corrupt man I ever met in my life. I've never met a man more corrupt. That man, I wrote about him in my book, and y'all can go read what I wrote about in my book. I said he was a chess player. He's playing chess, but he's playing wicked chess right now.
Yeah.
When he was playing chess in the real estate game, it was brilliant chess. Now he's playing wicked chess. He's still a chess player. He's just wickedly brilliant. You know what I mean?
Too cool to count 24/7.